If you are a parent, teacher, admin, or therapist, and you sit at the IEP table, you are in the right spot. I'm so excited to talk to you today about how this summer you could create your double win for next school year and beyond. So let's go ahead and jump right in and talk about what is happening this summer and how it might be exactly what you're looking for. So we have here what we're going to go over: why you might be feeling stuck, why embrace high performance, like what does that term even mean, what happened when I figured out how to get my double win, and why I want to share this with you, 6 pillars to get to that next level of having a double win. And of course, I'm going to have an action plan for you and gifts, because if you take the time to really dig in this summer and create this double win for yourself, I want you to love it and I want to cheer you on. So I want you to ask yourself, what do joyful, engaged, confident people do differently? That's really where we're going to start kind of our thought process, because if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling that it's just not all that you thought it would be inside of the special education system, it's impacting your life, it's creating chaos, you're probably feeling the opposite of these 3 things, right? Joyful, engaged, and confident is not where you're at right now. And that's okay, because there's absolutely a way to get there, because it's not easy. And I get it. There are 3 pretty big problems that are happening for all special education parents, teachers, admins, and therapists who are feeling this way. You're dealing with fear. And a lot of times that fear comes out as worry, right? It's worry about like, what is going to happen next? What is, going on long-term? What, am I doing enough? There's just a lot of worry that's going on. Fatigue, you are tired. Absolutely, you're feeling that burnt out. You're frustrated. You're frustrated with the system. You're frustrated how much the special education system is kind of taking over your life, right? And eating up just time and energy in different areas of your life. So, yep, you're going to get an email recap of this. Yes, we're going to use the chat box. Yes, there'll be a Q&A. And yes, I'm going to tell you how we can work together this summer so you can create your double win. Now, if you do not sit at an IEP table, this is not for you. Okay. But if you have any role at the IEP table, stick around, because this is for you. So let's go back to this question. What do joyful, engaged, confident people do differently? Here's what they don't do. This is what does not work. This is proven by the studies that are out there. And I'm going to share a couple of things with you when it comes to data. If you're like, show me the numbers of where all of this information is coming from, I'm going to share that with you. What I can tell you is, if you are the person who has this initial success, right? You're like, I'm going to dig in. I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to get started in this new routine. I'm going to get started in making different progress. I'm going to get started in these things. And you work real hard. So whether that's your job as a parent or a teacher or an admin or therapist, whether that's being a spouse, if it's being a friend, if it's being a sibling, if it's being a daughter, whatever this role is in life, you take it seriously. You're always taking it seriously, and you get started and you work hard and you become passionate about things, and like you're focusing on like the strengths, and you're practicing and you're showing your gratitude, and you're just going to stick with it. And then you get exhausted. Then you get burnt out. And I've been there. I understand that. It's actually proven that if this is your go-to process of just kind of pick yourself up and start over again, you continue to experience some initial success and then you crash and burn. So how are we going to reach this double win for what you want? What you want at the IEP table, what you want in your life, because it's all connected. When you're feeling it as a special education teacher, parent, admin, therapist, your role at that IEP table oozes out into other places of your life. It's just what happens. I've been doing this a really long time. So I've been in the field professionally for about 27 years. I'm a special needs sibling, and I've been through a lot of things. Okay. And when I found this term high performance, I just connected with it. It was about 10 years ago. So I just said, I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and I was hitting this brick wall. I had a lot of things that were happening. And when I found this term high performance and I started to dig in, I started to put these things into practice. So let's talk about what high performance is, because high performance is not high achievement. Okay. You already are a high achiever. I want you to own that. You are a high achiever. You are showing up right here. You love to cross off your to-do list. Like, go ahead, put that in the chat box. If you're live, you're like, yes, give me a good to-do list. Absolutely. You love to get things done. You can have this achievement. The issue is that you're having this achievement and then you're crashing and burning afterwards, or you get stuck because other people won't get on board with you. So you get frustrated. So you're tired and you're frustrated because you're in this high achiever mode. Now, high performance is different. High performance has been studied by the High Performance Institute. You can see there's a lot of different numbers here. I am not going to read them to you because you can see it. Okay. There's a lot of different things here. If you want to do the research, if you want to ask me about it, I'm here for you. I will show you where all this information came from, but just know what I'm going to share with you from this point forward absolutely has been studied, and these are proven steps. So we have the definition of high performance according to the High Performance Institute that did all of those studies. And what it came up with is that high performance means that you're succeeding beyond the standard norms. And that's who you are. That's what you want. You're like, I want better IEPs. I want a better relationship with my spouse. I want to be a better parent. You know, whatever your roles are, you don't accept the status quo, right? You don't accept that. You want more. You can't stand low expectations. You want to make things happen. You want to create change. You also want to do this consistently over the long term. You are tired of the roller coaster. You want to just be able to make things happen long term. And you want to do this while maintaining your well-being and positive relationships, right? Who has sacrificed themselves to make all of those high achiever things happen? I know I did at one point. Absolutely. I did that for a long time. I couldn't do that anymore. So high performance, the definition is you want to succeed beyond the standard norms consistently over the long term while maintaining your own well-being and positive relationships. What they found is there are 6 habits to make that happen. If you notice, number 4 in there is increased productivity. All right. You're good at being productive. Like, that's going to be the one that you're just like, yeah, productivity, like show me all the tricks, show me all the things. How can I increase my productivity? Because I feel like I need to do more. I feel like I don't have enough time. I don't know if I'm doing the right things. Okay. But we have to have all 6 of these wrapped in together. You have to be able to seek clarity, which means know what you want, not what everybody else wants, not all the demands that everybody else is putting on you. What do you want? What do you want at the IEP table? What do you want outside of the IEP table? What do you want? How are you going to put all of this together? How are you going to find the energy, right? How are you going to generate that energy to create this double win of I'm feeling good in my role at the IEP table and I'm feeling good about life? How are you going to raise necessity? And here's what this means. I love this one because it really helps you dial in. It helps you create this habit of what is really important. Because if you are doing things just to do things, if you're doing things because everybody's always done them, or people expect things from you, and they're not really important to you, it doesn't have the necessity. So that's when we start goals or we start routines, we start things and we're like, this would be good, but then we don't follow through on them. It's because they don't have the necessity in our life. Increase your productivity. There's ways to do that, I promise, without being so tired and so frustrated. Developing influence. If you're going to be a high performer, if you're going to succeed above the standard norms, you're going to do it long term, and you're going to take care of yourself and the relationships that you value. You have to be able to influence people around you to get on board, right? You can't do this all on your own. And you have to demonstrate courage. And I love to use the word bold for there. You got to be ready to be bold, because high performance is not something that everybody is looking for, but you are. You're here. So we have, oh, I just lost my screen. Give me a second, guys. All right. So what does high performance feel like? Full engagement, joy, and confidence. That's what it feels like. So I told you, what do we need to do? What does it feel like? So are you all in? Are you like, yes, I want to feel checked into my life. I want to feel checked into my role at the IEP table. I want to feel checked in with what's going on. I want to feel that joy, and I want to have confidence that comes from giving my absolute best. I don't want to feel like I'm just skating by, even though I'm trying really hard. I don't want to feel like I'm losing in some areas of my life and winning in others. I want to figure out how to make it all come together. The great thing, and I just want to get rid of some of these negative thoughts that you might be thinking as we continue to go through this, is that high performance, according to the High Performance Institute, and from what I've seen from coaching almost 2,000 master IEP coaches, okay, is that high performance does not depend on your age. You're not too old and you're not too young. to do what we're talking about, to find that double win, to get these habits. Your personality, introvert, extrovert, your strengths, or your years of experience, which means that you can be doing things for a very, very long time. And yes, you can switch things up. This works. And if you're brand new and you're like, I don't even know how I'm going to hang in there, this works for you too. Because you can have all the strengths in the world, but without the right habits, strategies, and support, you won't get to where you want to be. And I want you to take that to heart because you've been trying all the things. You know what your strengths are. You know when you feel in the flow of like, I got this. And then you lose that flow because you need the right habits, strategies, and support to get to where you want to be. So now the real question is, right, how do you get those right habits, the perfect strategies for you? And how do you sustain them long term? So here's what happened to me. And I want you to go ahead, if you're here live, type it in the chat box, say, I get it. When you hear something from my story that you're just like, yep, I can relate to that. Because as I said, I've been in the field for a long time, 27 years. You guys might know me as the founder of Master IP Coach Mentorship, host of the Special Education Inner Circle podcast. I have a brother who's in his 40s who has Down syndrome. So I talk a lot about, what my life was like as a special needs sibling, why I became a special education teacher, why I've been helping parents, teachers, admins, and therapists, on my own outside of the classroom for over 2 decades. But what I have never really shared behind the scenes is when I hit a brick wall about 10 years ago. I went through a divorce. Financially, things weren't so great. We were going from a 2-income household down to a 1-income household. I was going to be the sole income provider for me and my girls. I ended up losing my house through that. I watched my dad pass from a cancer journey. My daughter, who has severe seizures when she was younger, she's now, knock on wood, fully recovered. She's doing great. She's 20 years old. But anybody who has had a child who has complex medical needs and things like seizures or other kind of, complication, kind of scary things that are happening, that rocks your world in there. I was feeling burnt out. And that's like kind of saying it lightly, right? But I had to keep going. And I loved the work that I was doing, but I had to figure out how to make it work for all of the things that were happening in life. And you might be feeling that too. You might have had things happen like a divorce or some financial struggles, some relationship struggles, things going on with your kids or with your parents. All of this stuff is going to keep on happening. I kept on waiting for it to be over. Okay, one more crisis. Okay, one more crisis. And then I was like, wait, it's me. I have to figure out some way to get through this because this is life. This is absolute life. So here's what happened. I figured out how to raise my baseline up to joy. And when I did that, I was able to get out of this cycle of high and low emotions. And I was able to get quicker back to this baseline of joy, which means I could have really great days. And I'm still joyful when I'm kind of off that high of that really great day. I could have really kind of struggles happen during a day and I can get to that baseline of joy. I used to have a lack of relationships and I figured out how to get full support of my family, friends, and my work colleagues. I figured out how to build a sustainable business doing what I love. I want you to fall in love with what you do during the day. Maybe that means that you are a parent and your job is to be a parent 24/7. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you don't have an official job outside of the house, but you need to fall in love with what your responsibilities are during the day. Or maybe you are working outside the house. Maybe you are that teacher or that admin or therapist at the IEP table, and you've got this job outside the house and you need to fall back in love with it because you know what? You need it. You need it. Or you need to figure out how to shift that work into something that you love. I lost my house and that whole courage part, that is that, you got to get some courage. I told myself and I told some of my closest, friends and family, I said, I'm going to buy my next house in cash. I'm going to figure this out as a single mom because I couldn't get a loan. So I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. And I did. So I lost my house. I paid for it in cash and I'm living debt free. That was a big deal. And all of that impacts your work, right? When you are carrying around things that are heavy and you don't know how to deal with them, it clouds your entire life. When you figure out how to put all of this together, that's what the double win is, where you get to live your life. Even though there are struggles that are happening, you know how to get through them. You know how to experience that engagement, joy, and confidence. I was back checked in with my life. And you know what? It was tough to get there until I found these strategies that worked. And I promise you, I've been putting these in place for over 10 years. In fact, you will see all of the things that we're going to talk about in just a minute sprinkled throughout all of the Master IP Coach programs, sprinkled throughout the Special Education Inner Circle podcast. I get questions and comments all the time about like, this is different. Like, this is not a standard IEP training. I don't know what it is, but like, it's filled with hope and joy and possibilities. It's because that's what I'm working on behind the scenes all the time. And I bring it right into my work, and I want to share that with you. In fact, I want to share it with you so much that I actually just went back and got another certification on top of all my teaching certifications, all the other things, that I'm now a certified high performance coach, because it worked so well for me that I wanted to get qualified to deliver this directly to you. And that's what's happening this summer. So how do you get these right habits, perfect strategies, and grow and sustain them? Here we go. We look at these 6 habits and we figure out how are they going to work for you. So I want you to ask yourself some questions. We're going to go through some questions, and I'm going to point out some of these areas so you can do a check-in of where you're at right now. I want you to feel confident that when you decide to work with me this summer through the summer mentorship, I want you to feel so confident of like, okay, I can see where my gaps are at, and I want the strategies to get this high performance outcome, because you are tired of just being a high achiever and feeling burnt out. You want this high performance. So I want you to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is low, 10 is high, are your days in alignment with your bigger vision? And here's how you can do this. I want you to take your current age, add 3 to it. Okay. Got that number? What did you imagine your life was going to look like at that number? Or what do you want now at that number? And today is what you're doing today, is what's on your calendar for tomorrow, what's on your calendar for this week. Is that in alignment with what you see 3 years from now? Because if it's not in alignment, we've got some work to do. And I don't want you to say like, oh, in 3 years, things are going to be the same, or I don't really know what to expect. Like, you have to have the courage to dream and say, okay, in 3 years, how could things be different? What do I really want? And am I doing the work today? Am I doing, what needs to get done? Am I scheduling my day, scheduling my priorities the way they need to be? I also want you to ask yourself, if people you care about were asked to share 3 words to describe you right now, what would they be? What would they be? And if you're here live, you can go ahead and put those in the chat box. Put one in the chat box. How do people describe you? A lot of times what I hear is, people describe me as caring, dependable, giving, supportive, loving. And all of these people, they think these things about you, and you're so tired behind the scenes. And quite honestly, you're wondering, how am I going to keep going like this? How am I going to get through these, crazy IEP meetings that are just so draining? How am I going to get through all of these different steps and keep showing up for people who expect this from me? And I want them to expect it. I want to be that person. I want to be the caring, loving, supporting. I want to be that person that can show up for people, but I'm so tired of sacrificing myself in the meantime. So where are you at with your energy? Are you happy with your physical energy? Are you happy with your mental energy? Where would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? So for me, physical energy, somehow I could always find the physical energy. So I'm not going to go out and run a marathon. Like, that's not my thing. Okay. I know what I want from myself physically I want to be able to, walk as far as I want to walk. I want to be able to be mobile. I want to be able to do certain things, physically, right? I want to lead, my version of an active life, whatever that is. And you have your version of an active life. For me, the struggle was the mental energy. I would get what I would call a mushy brain, right? Anybody get especially like at 2 o'clock, like mushy brain, like I can't make another decision. And you know what? When that would happen, I could not show up as my best self, because your mental and physical states are drivers of your emotions. So if you're feeling like you're not showing up how you want to be, you're feeling like you're burnt out, you're feeling like you can't be that parent or that teacher or that therapist that you need to be, whatever role you're in at that time, that has a lot to do with your mental and your physical energy. And we have to figure out what's going to work for you so you can show up and get what you need in all areas of your life. And to do this, we're going to need courage. Okay, so I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high. Do you feel confident speaking up and taking action for what you need and want, what you want throughout all situations? This could be speaking up at an IEP table. This could be speaking up at home. This could be speaking up with your spouse, with your friends, with your children, with, whatever the situation is. Are you speaking up for, that volunteer opportunity that you took that you should have said no to, but you said yes to? Okay. Are you speaking up and saying, this doesn't work for me anymore? So where are you at on that courage? Are you speaking up for yourself? Because I want to know. I want you to really think about, what would your strongest, most courageous self be doing different today? And here's what I love. I can see in the chat box, we got a number 7, right? For like, you're like, yes, I speak up. That's amazing. Now let's take it to the next level and put all of these things in alignment so you know exactly what you want to speak up for that's going to have the greatest impact throughout all of your days, throughout the IEP table, throughout all those things. And if you're a person who struggles to speak up, there's strategies to help you too, to get to where you can feel like, I want to speak up. I want to make this happen. Okay, let's talk about productivity. Now, listen to the difference of these two, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is low, 10 is high. Are you happy with your ability to focus each day? So let's just say that you're in the perfect situation, okay, of whatever you need to focus. Can you focus? Or are you feeling so many things on the inside that even when the outside of the world here looks good, you still struggle to focus? And how often do distractions get in the way of your day? Now, distractions are going to happen. I can't help if somebody comes and walks up and knocks on your door and interrupts. I can't help if you get a phone call at the wrong time, right? But what I want to know is, do the distractions get in the way of your day? Does it derail you? Because many times we can feel like we have all of these distractions and everything's out of our control. But when we learn how to take these distractions and put them where they need to be so we can get back to focusing, it changes our entire day. This is so important. This is a huge piece. So take this away, write this one down. Your ability to know when to break and when to focus is proven to increase your judgment. If you feel decision fatigue, that you're making so many decisions all day long, right? You're doing this, you're making all these decisions. And you're like, I'm so tired of making these decisions. That is a clear sign that we need to put more breaks in your day. And you're like, that sounds great, Catherine, but my day is planned basically by somebody else, right? Like you whether it's kids, it's work, whatever your role is, you've got people putting demands on you. Yes, but if you learn some really strategic habits where you know where to put 2-minute breaks, and there's actual science behind it, where to put these 2-minute breaks, you can actually change your ability to focus and increase your judgment by knowing when to break and when to focus. This is one of the biggest game changers for me, is to learn how to make this work for me, my schedule, my responsibilities, and what I needed. All right, let's talk about influence. Do you have enough influence at home? Do you have enough influence outside of the home? Are people on board with you? Can you get people on board with you? Or are you just kind of throwing your hands up like nobody listens? Nobody's on board with us. Okay. And I kind of always giggle a little bit here, because I would say influence at home does not mean, can you raise your voice loud enough to get everybody to pay attention and listen? Because I have a tendency to slip into that. So I call myself out on this one. Influence is not going to be me yelling to get everybody on board with this. This has to be a strategic process that is put into place so I have the influence that is needed so I can be the person that I need to be to show up for everybody, whether it's talking about IEPs or it's outside, in the real world doing life away from the IEP process. Did you know? And this was a game changer for me, and it still is all the time. I have to remind myself of this one. I have to put it into practice because it works, okay? Your greatest influence can often happen when listening and cheering on others, not fixing all the problems. Who's the fixer in their family? I am 100% the fixer in my family. Everybody comes to me to fix everything. I got to fix everything from, the remote that doesn't work, to the computer, to dinner, to drama that has happened. I've got older daughters, they're 20 and 21. There's just stuff going on all the time, right? There's things that are happening that people are, my mom, my brother, they come to me to fix things. And I bet you're that person too. But what I've learned is if I listen and I cheer them on and I encourage them for what is, what they're doing well and how they're getting through this, they will actually come together on their own of what needs to happen next to fix their own problem. And we're kind of co-creating this solution, and it's amazing. It is such a great thing to not have to feel like the fixer, but to know, I think my role right now is to listen and encourage. I use this one at the IEP table all the time. When things are going awry at the IEP table and I'm listening to what's going on, I will start encouraging people in what is going right and hopefully help bring them to the solution without me having to be the direct problem solver, even if I feel like I know what that answer would be. Because now I'm not telling somebody what to do, I'm influencing them to co-create a solution with me. So I want you to ask yourself, after we've gone through some of these things here, what would it feel like if you were more in the now? Like right now, what if you weren't so worried about all of the other things that were happening, but you could be present, you could be checked in, you could be engaged, you could feel confident that you had all the things that you needed to be successful at the IEP table and beyond? What would that feel like right now? And I do want you to recognize that you are on your own unique path. So you don't do this like anybody else, meaning that we have this umbrella of, 6 habits that need to happen. There are strategies and supports that need to be put into place. But what this looks like for you is so unique. I have a formula for you that I promise you it works, but exactly what you put into this formula is up to you. I talk all the time, the purpose and findings of IDEA Law is to prepare a child for further education, employment, and independent living by meeting their unique needs. It says it right there. So you all the time are working towards meeting everybody else's unique needs. What about yours? What about yours? So let's talk about how we can work together this summer. And if you are here live and you have any questions, I want you to go ahead and pop those in the chat box, as we're going to be talking about what this looks like when we're spending time together. Because those things that we talked about, they're everything, right? It's everything. To get all of this moving in the right direction is so very important. So let's talk about how we're going to do this together. This summer is your opportunity to create changes that build your sustainable life and finally feel engaged, joy, and confident. I love that word sustainable. That's one of my checkpoints now. Whenever I say yes to something, or I'm going to take on a new project, I'm going to do something else, I'm like, is this sustainable? Because I'm not willing to put in the work for a moment of success. I will put in the work to raise up to a sustainable state of what I want. So in a small group setting for 12 weeks, surrounded by like-minded parents and teachers just like you, I promise you can make more progress than you've ever made while staring at that stack of self-help books, that are piled right next to those special education books, that are, next to all those half-used planners. And you're going to make more progress than scrolling Instagram and saving all those life hacks. I'm going to take you through 12 strategy sessions to help you recover from this school year, enjoy your summer, and ease into the next school year with engagement, joy, and confidence. We're going to have 12 live coaching sessions, 1 per week. Yes, they're going to be recorded. Don't worry about the schedule, okay? Because I promise you, I get the replay up super fast, all right? You get one-to-one coaching with me via text and voice message. What that means is, I hope that you show up live to our session. If you can't show up live and ask questions and engage and do all of this, we're going to have the next best thing to you being there live. You have access to me where you can literally send me a text or send a voice message through an app called Voxer. Don't worry about what it's called. Just know it's so easy to use, okay? And you're going to listen to this weekly coaching. You're going to get these weekly emails from me. You're going to get these downloadable guides, okay? You're going to have this, and you're going to communicate with me just like we're in real time. You're going to leave me a message and say, you know what, Catherine, I'm working on this piece, or I didn't understand that, or what do you think about this next? Or I've got a question about, and we're going to have a conversation. And I'm going to help you get to where those 6 habits start to become part of your routine. And you start building the sustainable system that works for you and your busy life. Because I know, I get it, okay? Everything I'm going to share with you, everything I'm going to coach you through, I'm going to give you, it's all backed by research. And it's delivered 10 years of experience of using all of this myself. I'm a certified high performance coach, right? And I know my IEP stuff. So if you've been around for a while, I'm talking IEPs all the time. And I want to give you an entire Master IEP Coach library. I want to give you all of it. The complete Master IEP Coach mentorship, which has an IEP development wheel, inclusion guides. It has conflict resolution at the IEP table. It's been the core signature work of Master IEP Coach is inside of this Master IEP Coach mentorship program where you can actually call yourself a Master IEP Coach. I'm going to send you a t-shirt to prove it, okay? If you are watching this and you are already a Master IEP Coach, I want you to reach out to me, okay? Because I've got a different link for you to sign up because you've already invested in the Master IEP Coach mentorship program, and now I'm giving it inside of this program. I want to make sure that you get a special link if you're already a Master IEP Coach. Okay, I'm also going to give you the complete Master IEP Coach Business Starter Kit, which means that if you have thought about becoming a Master IEP Coach, not just at your own IEP table, which that's what majority of the people do. They become a Master IEP Coach so they can help at their own IEP table, become a leader, and really implement all these strategies at their own IEP table as a parent, teacher, admin, or therapist. And then we have a portion of those who become Master IEP Coaches are like, I'm starting a business. Like, I want to make this happen. I want to help others through the IEP process and get paid for my IEP expertise. I'm going to give you that too. Because if you decide that you want to make that happen, I want to support you in making that happen this summer. I just want to encourage you. This is Nancy. She's an aunt to a little girl who has autism, and she wants to step up at the IEP table. She's been in education for a while, but not in special education. She wants to step up at the IEP table. She took the mentorship. She says it's a game changer. She's blown away at the amount of information and support, and it's not even been 30 days. And we're going to be together for 12 weeks, okay? So am I passionate and motivated? Yes, I am. Why? Because I see change. I see change at the IEP table. I see change, with the parents, teachers, admins, and therapists at the IEP table and beyond. And this is so important. It is critical inside of our special education community. So here's everything that is broken down inside of your summer mentorship. 12 weeks of coaching, weekly emails from me that are going to coach you through for that week what we're working on. So if you love to read, I love to read, you're going to get an email that's going to share with you, okay, exactly what you need to be working on. 90-day access to private one-on-one coaching. So no Zoom meetings, no like you and I coordinating our calendar. We don't have to do that, okay? We're going to do this. It's going to be so great for us to connect on your schedule, okay? You get the entire Master IEP Coach mentorship program. You get ongoing monthly live virtual meetups. So once a month, everybody who has actually taken the Master IEP Coach program, they get invited, which means you'll get invited to a monthly meetup. Guidebooks and assessment tools, the Master IEP Coach Business Starter Kit, lifetime access to replays and updates every year. Actually, like every month. I'm putting some new things into that mentorship. And then a Master IEP Coach swag care package. So this is what it would cost a la carte. Like if you emailed me and said, Catherine, can you coach me for 12 weeks? Catherine, can you give me the business starter kit? Can you do these things? This is what it would be a la carte. It would be $6,777 for one time. And then ongoing, it would be $1,494. So every year to continue to get access, this is what it would be. That is not what the summer mentorship program is. The summer mentorship program is a one-time payment, $1,497. You can have all of the things that are listed. I've bundled them together, and there's no ongoing fee. Once you have it, you can have it. All right. Yes, there's a payment plan. And I did mention if you're already a Master IEP Coach, I'm going to credit you the $497 that you originally used to enroll a while ago. Okay. You can have that credit back towards your summer mentorship. I just want to encourage you that there are, again, parents, teachers, admins, and therapists who are sitting right where you're at right now. They were trying to decide. They resisted. Danielle's like, I resisted taking this because, financially it was tough for her to make this decision. And I get it. I get that it's an investment. I promise you, I'm going to give you everything I've got. Okay. I'm going to pour into you and make sure you get what you need. Jen says it's one of the best experiences that she's been a part of. And Jessica loves hanging out together. And I love spending the time with you. Again, we're going to make this work with your schedule because you can have all the strengths in the world, but without the right habits, strategies, and support, you won't get to where you want to be. And I want you to get this double win. I want you to feel fantastic in your role at the IEP table. And I want you to feel fantastic at life and being able to put all of that together. It's all one big package. It's not like, here's my life over here, and then here's my, real life over here. It all blends together. So if we can get all of those pieces moving in the right direction for you, it makes a huge difference. I would love to have you come join me this summer. You can head over to masteripcoach.com/mentorship. That's where you can go ahead and enroll, grab your spot, and I cannot wait to see you there. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here.